Hello, BookTube. I've got a little MegaStuff video for you on this rainy Wednesday here in Boston. Operative word probably being little. There isn't much going on here at Hyde Cottage. But it's, even so, the little bits and pieces here I didn't think would make a whole video on their own. Like, for instance, thing number one would be Zoom. I mentioned yesterday that I have, with a little help, cracked Zoom technology. So I can now hold Zoom chats, record them, and then send them to a very helpful editor who will carve off the chit-chat at the beginning and the chit-chat at the end to one sculpted video. And I want to do this for everybody. I want Zoom conversations with everybody, not just authors and other non-BookTube YouTubers, but also with all of you. So let's get about making that happen. That's thing number one. Of course, thing number two is babies. I put out a call for Shakespeare pictures. I got a ton of dog pictures and also a ton of cat pictures and some rat pictures thrown in there for good measure. And we have a bunch today. Let me see if I can adjust the lighting so that you can see these. There is a little baby, obviously worried. We've seen this one before. He's worried about being at the doctor. That's very touching in its own right. Then we have a little babushka wearing a kerchief. Could not get Frida to do that in a million years. Would never happen. Same thing with this, putting a birthday hat on. It's an adorable picture, but Frida would never do it. She would not only shake it off, but she would then promptly destroy it. Here we have a safety-conscious dog with PPE. Even though, as I have to tell people all the time, dogs are not a vector in this disease. Dogs are not a vector in this disease. Despite the fact that the dictatorship of North Korea has had them rounded up and executed, dogs are not a vector in this disease. So when I'm walking Frida down the sidewalk and some construction worker in overalls says, "Hey, little baby, I'd love to bend down and pet you, but I don't want to get COVID," I have to bite my tongue. I have to bite my tongue. I have to stop myself from saying, A, you can't get COVID from this dog, and B, where's your effing mask if you're so worried about this disease? I have to restrain myself from doing that. And then our last baby picture to today is a picture of my favorite species on Earth interacting with my second favorite species on Earth. Look at that. I don't have any idea what Frida would do if she encountered a pig. No idea what she would do. I think it would short-circuit her brain. She was pretty much, up in Vermont, she met alpacas. And it pretty much short-circuited her brain. She had no idea what they were. They were way too big for her to scream at. And they weren't dogs anyway, and she's accustomed to screaming at dogs to make them behave. But they weren't, she also couldn't chase and kill them. So I don't know what she'd do. I don't know what she'd do with a pig. I'd love to find out, although I think it would be a bloody mess. So there we have babies. And also Zoom. None of you are safe from Zoom. I want to have a Zoom conversation with every one of you. And then we have a couple of packages, and it looks like they're both from publishers. So this being Wednesday, we are now 3 solid days with no egregious presents from you to me. That's very good. That's progress. So what have we got here? Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. Well, this is an author who really needs no introduction from me. She's been talked about a lot on BookTube, and also a lot of you love her anyway outside of BookTube. This is Jane Harper, who wrote The Dry. And this is her forthcoming new book. This is coming out in, the date on it says February of 2021. And this is The Survivors. Look at that brooding cover. Huh? Look at that. I don't have a pub sheet, but we'll just read off the list here. Kieran Elliott's life changed forever on the day a reckless mistake led to devastating consequences. The guilt that still haunts him resurfaces during a visit with his young family to a small coastal community he once called home. Kieran's parents are struggling in a town where fortunes are forged by the sea. Between them all is his absent brother, Finn. When a body is discovered on the beach, long-held secrets threaten to emerge. A sunken wreck, a missing girl, and questions that have never washed away. Interesting. Well, judging by this author's past, this will be an intricately plotted thriller. And you see the dangers, the trickiness of writing publicity copy for an intricately plotted thriller. That back description is virtually gibberish, because the person who no fault of them, the person who wrote it was thinking, "Oh, I can't say that. I can't say that either." That's all right. That's fine. I don't need much urging. This author, I always talk about escrow accounts of goodwill. This author has all the goodwill she could ever have from me, so I'm going to go into this book expecting to love it. I'll still read it critically. If it makes mistakes, I'll note them. But there's a huge amount of goodwill going in, and that counts for something. But not right away, of course. Right? On this channel, when I get a book when I get an advanced copy that's months ahead of the printed copy, the hardcover, the finished copy, I don't usually read it right away unless it's overwhelmingly tempting. I usually don't read it right away. And that hard and fast rule about reading ahead is absolutely ironclad when it comes to jumping years. I don't read anything from one year to another, so I'm not reading any 2021 books. This is coming out in February of 2021, so I will wait until the new year. But it's exciting to know that it's on the horizon, because this is an author who pleases. Then we have our next package, and then we'll be done. A comparatively short MegaStuff video. Let's see here. What's this next one? Oh no! All right, what have we got here? This is by Pankaj Mishra, who's an author I really like. I think is this a 2021 book too? No, this is early October. Blight Fanatics, Liberals, Race, and Empire. This one has a pub sheet, so let's find out what it's about. A wide-ranging, controversial collection of critical essays on political mania plaguing the West by one of the most important public intellectuals of our time. Decades of violence and chaos have produced a political and intellectual hysteria ranging from imperial atavism to paranoia about an Islamic threat to Western civilization that has affected even the most liberal of American and British writers. In Blight Fanatics, the author examines this hysteria and its fantasies, taking on its arguments and the atmosphere in which it was festered and become influential. Festered. So I'm assuming he doesn't agree with any of those claims, because they have fantasists, not people who make them. In essays that grapple with colonialism, human rights, and the doubling down of liberalism against a background of faltering economies and weakening Anglo-American hegemony, Mishra confronts writers from Jordan Peterson to Ayaan Hirsi Ali. Featuring a newly written introduction, these essays... Okay, so where did the essays originally appear, I wonder? I wonder if it's going to tell me. Probably not. I mean, the finished copy might. But this probably won't have copyright information. Oh, it does. Mostly the New York Review of Books, the London Review of Books, the Guardian. Okay, so this is collected pieces. Great, because when I get a journal like one of those, New York Review of Books or London Review of Books, I never miss reading this author. So having a collection is fantastic. Okay, great. Oh wait, oh, oh, all right, okay. I noticed that the pub sheet was printed all the way on the back as well. And it turns out that the back is just a huge list of blurbs for the author's Age of Anger from 2017. And the longest of them is by yours truly. So I'm going to have to find a paperback of Age of Anger and see if it's on the book. That would be great. Because I don't have a copy of Age of Anger anymore. And if I'm on the paperback, I'd love to have it. Wonderful. Okay, well, all right. So that review of Age of Anger was for the Christian Science Monitor. So I'm not sure that they'll take a review of the next one. By the same person, same author, 2 books in a row. That doesn't really usually work well. I'll have to see. Maybe somebody else will want to review. So those are our books. One piece of nonfiction that is by a collection of nonfiction pieces by an author I know I like, and a novel by an author I know I like. So as far as mail hauls go, this is a pretty nice, comfortable one. And we had babies, and also that your further warning that I am ruminating around with Zoom. I want to Zoom with a whole bunch of people and talk to them about a whole bunch of things, not necessarily just authors. But I wouldn't mind, for instance, talking to either one of these people. Wouldn't that be fun? But anyway, that's all for the future. I'm going to wrap this up for now. A short MegaStuff video, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.